Plant once, harvest for life, 10 vegetables that keep feeding you forever. What if your garden could feed you for decades without ever replanting a thing? What if you could step outside every spring to find tender shoots, fresh greens, and flavorful roots waiting for you? No seed trays, no resowing, no fuss. It might sound like a dream, but this is the magic of perennial vegetables. These are the hard-working plants that grow back year after year, turning your backyard into a self-sustaining food paradise. At Crop Corner, we're all about growing smarter, not harder, and today, you're about to discover 10 vegetables that behave like fruit trees, producing 4 years with just one planting. Asparagus, the long-term investment that keeps giving. If there's a king of the perennial patch, it's asparagus. Plant it once and you'll be harvesting tender spears for up to 20 years, sometimes even longer. It's a patient gardener's dream because, while the first 2 years are all about establishment, by the 3rd year the harvest begins in earnest. Choose a sunny, well-drained spot and dig trenches 6 to 8 inches deep, spacing the crowns about 18 inches apart. After planting, cover lightly with soil and water well, about 1 gallon of water per plant per week during dry spells. Each spring, top dress with rich compost to fuel those spears, and you'll be rewarded with crisp, delicious shoots every season. Go for all male varieties like Jersey Knight or Jersey Supreme for the heaviest yields. Jerusalem artichoke, the underground gold mine. Also known as sunchokes, these cheerful sunflower relatives produce knobby, nutty-tasting tubers beneath the soil that multiply like crazy. Once planted, they'll keep coming back for years. They thrive almost anywhere. Full sun, poor soil, drought, they don't care. Just give them space because they spread fast. The trick is containment. Plant them in large raised beds or containers if you don't want them taking over. Come autumn, dig up the tubers after the first frost. That's when their starches turn to sugar. Leave a few in the ground and next year they'll sprout again. Walking onions, the self-planting wonder. You'll have an endless, renewable stash of crunchy tubers, no replanting required. These are nature's pranksters and honestly, one of the most fascinating perennials you'll ever grow. Walking onions, also known as Egyptian or tree onions, literally walk across your garden. Instead of flowers, they form clusters of mini bulbs at the top of their stems. When those bulbs get heavy, the stems bend over, touch the ground and root themselves, starting new plants. Plant them once in full sun and well-drained soil and they'll take care of the rest. You can harvest the underground bulbs, the green shoots, or the tiny top bulbs. They're hardy, pest-resistant, and almost impossible to kill. A perfect choice for low-maintenance gardeners who want food without effort. Sorrel is the unsung hero of the perennial garden, a leafy green that adds a lemony zing to salads, soups, and sauces. French and garden sorrel varieties both thrive in zones 3 to 9, coming back year after year. Planted in partial sun with moist, well-drained soil and, keep it watered consistently, about half a gallon per plant each week. Harvest the young leaves for the best flavor. Older ones can turn bitter. Remove flower stalks to encourage leafy growth and divide the clumps every few years to keep the plant vigorous. With its bright citrus taste and endless regrowth, sorrel is your go-to perennial for adding freshness to any dish. Now, let's talk horseradish, the fiery root that never dies. Horseradish is really the definition of plant once, eat forever. This spicy root spreads aggressively underground, so give it a corner of the garden, or better yet, a deep container, to keep it contained. To grow horseradish, plant root cuttings about 2 inches deep in early spring and, keep the soil evenly moist. After the first frost in autumn, just dig up what you need and leave the rest in the ground. The remaining roots will regrow next season, giving you an endless supply of fiery, fresh horseradish for sauces and pickles. Just be warned, it's nearly impossible to get rid of once it's established. Lovage, the celery that came back every year. If you've never grown lovage, honestly, you're missing out on one of gardening's best-kept secrets. It tastes like celery, only stronger and sweeter, and it's completely perennial. So, To grow lovage, you want to plant it in rich, moist soil with full sun or maybe even a bit of light shade, and honestly, give it some space. It can reach up to 6 feet tall. Lovage really loves consistent moisture, so make sure to water it deeply about once a week, and, mulch around the base to help keep those roots cool. You know, every part of the lovage plant is edible. The leaves are great for soups, the stems work as a celery substitute, and even the seeds can be used for seasoning. Just one plant can feed a family, and it comes back every spring without fail. Sea kale. Now that's the coastal survivor with a gourmet twist. It isn't just hardy, it's actually quite beautiful, with those silvery blue-green leaves and delicate white flowers. Originally a coastal plant, sea kale thrives best in sandy, well-draining soil and full sun. Once established, it's drought-tolerant and nearly maintenance-free. You can eat the young shoots, which taste like mild asparagus, or the mature leaves cooked like collard greens. For extra tenderness, force the shoots by covering the plant with a bucket or large pot in late winter to block light. When those pale shoots appear, they're tender, sweet, and utterly delicious. Good King Henry, the forgotten spinach substitute. This old-fashioned green deserves a comeback. Good King Henry produces edible leaves, shoots, and flower buds, making it one of the most versatile perennials you can grow. Alright, so here's the scoop on growing Good King Henry. This plant loves rich, moist soil and partial shade, spreading gently through underground rhizomes. The young shoots taste like asparagus, the leaves like spinach, and the buds like baby broccoli. Quite the versatile little plant, wouldn't you say? Now, when it comes to harvesting Good King Henry, it's the kind of plant that just keeps on giving. It asks for little more than a good mulch layer each spring. Just harvest lightly in the first year, then freely after that. It'll keep coming back stronger every season. It's a real gift that keeps on giving. Moving on to perennial leeks, these are the onion cousins that never quit. Most gardeners grow leeks as annuals, but perennial varieties like Dobbenton's leek or wild ramps are different. They return year after year. Just plant them in fertile, well-drained soil and partial shade, and remember to water regularly to keep the soil evenly moist. It's like having a dependable friend in your garden. These hardy alliums multiply underground and through small bulbs that appear at the top of their flower stalks. Simply plant those bulbs, and you'll have new leeks growing within months. Once established, they require minimal care and provide that savory onion-garlic flavor every spring without fail. Dazzling Dobbenton's kale, the kale that never bolts. Meet Dobbenton's kale, the superhero of leafy greens. Unlike annual kales that flower and die, this non-flowering variety stays productive indefinitely. Dazzling Dobbenton's kale grows lush and leafy all year in mild climates and, bounces back from the base each spring in cooler regions. Planted in nutrient-rich soil under full sun, and remember to water deeply once a week. To propagate, just take a stem cutting and stick it in soil. It roots easily, honestly. Its tender, mild leaves make perfect salads and sautés, and because it never goes to seed, you'll be harvesting for years from a single planting. Perennial vegetables are more than just plants. They're a lifestyle choice for sustainable, low-cost abundance. With just one planting season, you can build a garden that feeds your family for decades, saves money, conserves water, and restores soil health. These are the vegetables that let you step back and let nature take over, giving you harvest after harvest with minimal effort. So, if you're ready to stop replanting and start reaping the rewards of smarter gardening, it's time to start your perennial patch. Which one are you planting first? If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Crop Corner and join our growing family of gardeners who believe in growing more with less. Hit that bell icon so you never miss our next deep dive, and, share this article with a friend who's still stuck replanting every spring. Together, let's grow gardens that last a lifetime.